you have to learn to love yourself. We all do. Every single person does. It doesn't matter where you were born, who you were born to, what your parents felt about you as a child or didn't feel about, whatever that is. Maybe you felt that you were really loved by your parents and that was great, but then you leave them at some point. So now who's going to do that? And so I looked up the definition of love. What is that? Because that was something that was elusive to me. What does that mean? And it's an intense feeling of deep affection. So, I didn't really have that most of my life. I didn't feel that. Most of the times I felt like something was wrong with me. And I kept questioning, why am I feeling this way? Why am I having these difficulties? And why can't I get to this place where everyone's talking about love yourself? That's going to solve everything. I could not get there. It took forever for me to get there. And I've seen this with so many people as well. And you have to question, why is that? What would make us any less capable of loving ourselves than other people that we might witness who are doing that and who are really happy, who are doing things in their lives, and we just see them and they just seem like so great and they're successful. See, because when you love yourself, then you start having money because you're doing what you came to the world to do, and then everything kind of flows. But why don't we all do that? I had to keep asking myself what was going on. Why was I different than so many other people that I looked at them and I could see that they were happy and they were doing things and they had gotten on with their careers and all of that, had these great families, and I'm still moving around from place to place trying to figure out how to love myself. Then I discovered what it was. I wasn't allowing myself to be my authentic self. You see, because nothing works unless we get there. Absolutely nothing. Because I know, and I've discovered, and after all of these years, I have discovered that every single person was born with something within them that could cause them to love themselves if they could access it and move through all the things that told them that it wasn't there. That's all it is. It's in our mindset. See, you have to consider where you were born, the parents, what you were told when you were younger, because we get programmed into thinking, believing certain things when we're really young, before we've had the opportunity to really form our own opinions about anything. And then, depending on the particular route our lives might take, we could keep reinforcing limiting beliefs and ideas about ourselves simply because someone else said it. Someone else told us something, and usually it starts when we're kids. I can tell you so many instances of things that occurred in my life, which I was told by a teacher or a parent. You know, my mother, my father said something to me that became implanted in my thinking, that I started to believe it was true, that it was real. Certain things, no, you can't do this. That's not who you're supposed to be. How do you know? This is what I would always say to them, and I couldn't figure that out. But because I started to understand how we develop as humans, every single person, there's no difference in any human, any person born, except how we choose to think, and that's consciousness. That's our mindset. That's how we choose to use it. Sometimes they've been programmed. Mine were programmed into being less than everyone else. I felt that so much in my life. And so I went on this journey 41 years ago. I said, I've got to figure this out. And because I knew it had something to do with personal development. I knew it had something to do with human potential, and had something to do with in discovering who we are spiritually and being able to own that. See, because we understand now from physics and all of that, that physics and spirituality are really aligned, because we create our lives and the world in the same way. It's all energy. But then we come into the world with different DNA. You see, we have something that's programmed into us, this little spark that we were given at birth, that we are supposed to figure out and start to live, and then we will love ourselves, because that was who we were intended to become. This is what God said. This is who you're supposed to be. And if you could live that, everything would be wonderful, because that's why you came into the world. I know that is true for every single person. So when I started on this journey 41 years ago, I said, I'm going to find the thing. I'm going to find a way that other people can find this ability to come to love themselves so they can live incredibly happy lives. See, because when you are in fear or anger or all of those things, that's something old that you're holding on to, that you have not been able to move through, which is in your consciousness, you see. Because when you let go of that stuff, you've moved through some generational trauma or something you experienced when you were a child, something that is still impacting your thinking. We know through neuroscience that we create neural pathways, meaning the way we choose to see things, and then we can go on automatic pilot because we're not changing the old limiting ideas and beliefs that we picked up, sometimes where we don't even remember where we got it. We don't remember how we did that thing. But then I learned that if you just use neuroscience and change it every single day, then you become a different person. This is how I walked through everything in my life. This is how I was able to heal and pull things together that were really impossible. But I said, no, I want everyone else to have this. I want other people to be able to do the same thing, because that's the way that they become the people they're meant to be and live these extraordinary lives. And it's also the way that our world becomes better, you see. Because 3 years ago, when I knew the world was changing, I said, I have to bring this work forward because it's going to make such a difference. Because now people will have the ability to become happy. They'll have the ability to add light and love into the world, and that will shift everything that's going on. But the craziest thing is for the individual, us, me, to accept that we're supposed to be happy, that we're supposed to love ourselves. And if we could get to that place, our lives would be brilliant. That's true there are no exceptions to that. There are just absolutely no exceptions, only the ones that we choose to make. And I can say that because I did that for so long. I was refusing to look at who I was. I was refusing to accept the ideas that were coming to me that were new. We're supposed to have new ideas. We're supposed to come into the world, each person, and offer something that's unique and different. And sometimes we have to go through a lot of challenges. I went through all of them. But what happens when you understand them, then you start to love yourself, because you get, oh, I went through this terrible thing so that I could learn this. Now I know so much more. Now I understand my importance. Now I know why I'm in the world, and it's for a great reason, and I can start to become happy and live the life I want to have. That's what I've done. That's what I want others to do. This is why I've created my work. This is why I've made my changes over the last several years, because I knew what would be happening. See, it's when the world is changing, we've gone through changes like this in civilizations before, just not any that we've experienced. And so when we move through those periods, these really stressful periods, when we have all kinds of conflict and war going on in the world, it's difficult for us to own who we are. But it's also the best time to come to own who you are, because now you have motivation. You don't want to be caught up in all the craziness that's going on in the world. So then you go inside. Then you go in and start to figure out, why am I on the earth? What was I supposed to do? What is my mission? Because see, every single person has one. And I know that now, because mine was to develop something that could allow everyone else to find their mission and live this extraordinary life. And even though it's taken me all these years to do it, to accomplish it, I was determined that I was going to do it, and now I have. And I'm thrilled. But I want you to know that, please, do not be hard, difficult, judge yourself if you haven't reached that place where you're living everything you want, getting that next promotion, going to that next place, because it's just in your mindset. And all you have to do is change that and open your consciousness to receiving, and all of that comes in, and then you will love yourself.
I haven't done anything like this.
It's increased the confidence that I've had in myself.
Everything is better. I mean, every single aspect of my life. My income, the progress is just amazing. Like, you can see changes from week to week.
Introducing your last development program, Life Transformation for Success, the newest part of Roger Burnley's coaching series. In this 3-month online program, you will learn the mindset tools you need to dissolve the shame of your past, discover the gifts within you that make you important to the world, and get the confidence to rise above anything that stands between you and the life that you want.
Everything changed in my life. Everything. Every single thing.
It's time for you to reprogram your mind for success and become self-actualized. If you're ready to transform your life too, learn more at yourlastdevelopmentprogram.com today.